All right, guys, welcome. Tonight we are going to take a look at a recent grudge match between myself and Flanbie. Joining me tonight is Tragao. He's going to help me break down the game, talk about some of the tactics, strategies, and some of the technicals. Tragao, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Now, I got to watch this at live, which the builds that you both chose were very interesting. We're about to see the exact rule set now, but just a sneak peek towards it. You can only pick a build once. Each Arcana is only allowed to be seen by each player once, which really limits what you guys can win with. Flanbie, known for picking the Aqua Beam, he's only going to be able to use it in one of these matches, and Covetous, you are a Revolt Disc and Scimitar fanatic, but you can't get there with only those two Arcana.
Right, and knowing that I could only use them one, I had to be very selective on where I put them to make sure that they were effective. The other thing that to keep in mind is that there is an input delay. So in building, I think the both of us sort of built around this. And right now we've got Flanbie, who's got a melee build, and I ended up getting lucky and selecting this sort of zoning and longer range build. Also important to note that we submitted these builds blind, so neither of us knows what the other is running.
Yeah. So for this first match, you went out really strong, picking two very good combo Arcana, that being the Aqua Beam and Air Dragons that we've seen from TJ Brown and Terrarius.
Right.
And Tina.
Yeah, so I borrowed this combo from him, and I knew that I wanted to sort of play a distance game, being that there was going to be a slight input delay. I didn't want to rely on anything that had to be too accurate. I mean, barring the Aqua Beam, sure, you need a little bit more accuracy, but I felt comfortable in using it so long as I was able to make that distance. And I liked the combo of setting it up with the Dragon and then the Aqua Beam. And I mentioned to Terrarius, who was the one who started using this, the inventor of this build, is that it's a Dragon build featuring the Aqua Beam, where you set up the combo with the Dragon and then hit the Aqua Beam. So not too much accuracy is needed here.
Yeah, definitely large hitboxes here that really link well into each other. Now, it's with this Spark Array and Aegis Charge, it would work really well into more standard projectiles, as it has strong breaking power, good zoning, and the shield from Aegis Charge really allows you to just go through certain things, but I think this matchup just favors you so hard in these builds.
Yeah, I got very lucky in picking the bouncing balls and allowing it, like making it so that it was very, very tricky for him to approach. And when he does, I've got the Dragon waiting, and then I've got an Aqua Beam right behind him.
Yeah, and this jump, the Blazing Leap that you're able to pick up, it really helps out.
Yeah, that was a good enough pickup. And right here, I'm feeling confident.
Yeah.
We've got to go best of 7. So it's
first
to 4.
It was a first to 5.
First to 5.
It was first to 5.
Correct. Thank you.
So
yes, thank you.
Right here, they're planning their second builds, and right here we can see two really strong Arcana down on Flanbie's side, while you're down 3, and Flanbie immediately goes into Aqua Beam after losing that first match. He wants to make sure that he's able to get this win, and he goes with one of his full-on builds, so he's down 4 and 4 in Arcana game 2, which although he's basically guaranteeing a win with just how familiar he is with the build, especially since it's on his host, he needs to think about the long game in this, and I think that that's where this build doesn't work out.
Because he wants his guaranteed so fast, and one of the points I was going to bring up with the hosting flip-flop, he's going to host 3 games, then I'm going to host 4. Now, being that we got to go to 5 wins, if I can win all of mine, or basically, if I can win 1 on his, then
he now has to win 1 on yours at minimum.
So me being able to pull 1 off right there, where I had a build advantage, I felt very confident longer term.
Yeah.
With this matchup, I felt okay with it. Now he's got the Aqua Beam going versus the Spark Array, and it's not doing too well. It's not doing too well versus the Turbines either.
Yeah.
I did have a nice pickup with the Homing Flares, but I wasn't able to get anything going here.
I think that one thing that you really struggled with was a choice of basics. In
Okay.
round one, as good as the Bouncing Blaze was as a pickup, you want him to get closer than the Bouncing Blaze's max range. And in a later build, we're going to see you're really going to want Bouncing Blaze there, but you got rid of it too early. And then here,
Okay.
Yo-Yo doesn't do much for you, since it's really looking for that combo. Although both of your Arcana really put your opponent stuck in one spot, you're most likely not going to be able to get full use out of that without landing one of your other two. So really hoping on that. Really,
I agree. I was using the yo-yo as a sort of stand-in for the Vault Disc. It's kind of similar in a way where it's similar rhythm. I think similar damage and range.
It is much. It's very strong, but I think that it has very key differences to how you would want to use it than Volt Disc. You're really gonna.
I got you. Yeah.
Its main point of where you want to be hitting is in that middle of its range for the most damage output.
I was planning on trying to make more use out of that turbine, but I don't think I was able to I wasn't able to get any of it off.
I think
this is what you're talking about with the Bouncing Blaze.
Yeah, here you go into the double dragons that I've been using a decent amount, and you're down the Bouncing Blaze and Wavefront, both from game one that I've run with it. So you've implemented Whip and Frostwing, which I think Frostwing isn't a horrible choice here. It does somewhat do the same job of Wavefront, but your basic really
gives me. I was thinking it gives me an opportunity to evade, because I know I'm going to want to play distance here, not knowing what he's going to choose, and now he's picking something that's very aggressive. He wants to be very up close, and I think that I do also have a build advantage here. I think I do, if I can play it right and just keep distance. But in terms of actually making this build work, the chip damage, you got to hit so many dragons, you got to hit so many basics, and he's really only got to land a handful of combos. I'm not sure if the daggers are right for this, and I don't know if he did that on purpose or not, but he's got a lot more damage output per interaction than I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
As you can see, I haven't done much here.
Going actually into Flanbie's choice of build, he actually messed up. He meant to pick Fueled Berserk. He asked if he could change it because he realized after sending me the build, as I was the one in charge of both your builds, he realized that he had typed in the wrong buff Arcana. So he meant to go Fueled Berserk, and it still worked out for him. And he doesn't use, and he already doesn't use either of those Arcana, so I don't think he missed out. But I really do think that, I actually disagree with you. I think that build advantage goes to Flanbie. Rushdown builds.
On this one, you would say?
I think just because of the Zephyr. Zephyr really beats out the dragons because the dragons' main goal is just to keep your opponent off of what they want to be
from
doing.
Advancing.
They have to constantly be dodging. But with the Zephyr, he has full immunity for 4 seconds. And you get a free round here. You get a free 300 health heal right here from Flanbie's brain turning off.
Yes. We do get a restart right here.
Yeah.
In hopes that, I can start it again.
But yeah, you're right. This is just going to be advantage Flanbie, and he's really going to be able... That Zephyr is really going to just allow him to get right in your face, and you don't have any tools to get him off of you once he is in there.
No. And I have to keep this up for 3 or 4 minutes.
It takes a long time for that to kill, especially without the Bouncing Blaze basic.
Yep. And now I see that, obviously the Divine Whip, again, just another stand-in. But obviously,
I think that it's a good idea not to go Volt Disc here. Because
I agree.
Would have been...
Yeah, I agree.
You would have just lost it here, too, most likely. But
exactly. That was the other thing I was thinking about. All right, how likely am I to win? And, what do I want to... I don't want to waste any resources going forward. But that was the last over in France, and now we're back in the U.S. You can tell by the resolution change. Due to the recording of the game capture and window capture.
So now we're going into Flanbie running a really weird fiery yo-yo build, going with Tearing Whirlwind as the signature since he's already used his Frost Scimitar, which I think that because of how it works, it's not going to be super helpful because he doesn't know where his opponent's going to end up.
He does get a similar build, whereas if he was trying to do Fueled Berserk plus Drill, he does get a pretty similar build in Field Berserk plus Tearing Whirlwind.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and he ends up pairing the Field Berserk with the better of the Arcana with this yo-yo.
Yeah.
In terms of actual synergies, I feel like the Berserk is going to do better with the yo-yo than what he was using previously.
Mm-hmm. And on here,
so I think he got.
We're gonna see your build. You're going with a Gale Force alignment and Airborne Slam, which you've been practicing a decent amount. I think it's been proving useful.
Yeah, I like both of those spells. I like the Gale Force alignment. I want to make it work. I really like the wind spinners, and I really like the jump. The spike track I think is probably a pretty good dash here, considering what I'm going to try and do is snare with the Gale Force and use that dash in terms of a combo keeper.
It also can work really well defensively if he's trying to Tearing Whirlwind into you. If you dash right before, you might walk into it.
Like right there.
Yeah, very good
stun.
Useful defensive dash. And the Aqua Breaker pickup really helps you just confirm your long range.
I just need one projectile to pick up those.
And right here we see Flanbie just unable to tell what direction you're coming from to get off that damage combo. Really hurts him.
It's got to be, it's another build that's got to be kind of accurate. You got to be kind of accurate when you're trying to land those Berserker builds and all that. You want to be exactly in.
You need to know exactly where your opponent's going to end up, which is the biggest issue about the Tearing Whirlwind here. So
you only got to do it once. That's the only thing. If you can land that Berserker and yo-yo, you only got to do it once.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of can you get close enough to pull
that
it
Frost
off.
Scimitar picking up the Scimitar. Clutch for you. As we all know, you are a Frost Scimitar user, so
I was happy to see it hit, and it fits perfectly in the build. Now I have one of everything and 2 projectiles plus
Flame Cleaver has a good denial of entry. And if he perhaps gets a projectile here at all. Surge Anchor, really good pickup on his side. I don't know why he doesn't go for it here. But you're just able to rack in the damage, and he finally is able to get his basic off, since you were just trying to lock him with your own basics, but you're able to
escape it with that Spike Track.
Yeah, Spike Track. Proven really
useful.
Came in handy. Yeah. And now we're getting down to the point where one thing hits and both of you die.
Yeah, another Spike Track landed.
Yeah, 22 to 10 HP. It really is just ship damage and, Flame Cleaver kill. Very clean.
And the burn damage.
So,
yeah,
Flanbie has to take a win on your host, or else you're just going to win outright here. So, ball's in his court. And in this one, I think this is the... yes, you're going with your...
This is a good matchup.
Aegis Charge and Ball Lightning versus... I'm trying to remember what Flanbie picked before.
I believe it's a zoning build. I think it's Wind Sentry Circuit.
Was it Wind Sentry Dragon Circuit? Yeah, he went a Poos build. He went a Poos build.
So in the blind setup, I choose melee up close, and he chooses a perfect zoning build with the bouncing blaze that you mentioned earlier. Oh, the Water Dragons.
Yeah, he went Water Dragons because he thinks that they're a bit more useful in the signature, or I think he was trying to save them for back when he's on host.
The circuit ones, okay, yeah, because these Water Dragons, you don't have to aim them. You just gotta kind of get them
that
out,
they have,
keep them
along
out.
with Wind Sentry's lingering, is very useful.
Yes,
he's gonna try and play a range build, especially
ping
with the
disadvantage build that you want to play.
Yeah, really allows him to control most of the map.
Also, that dash is really good too, leaving out it like that little agent right there.
Yeah.
While you're trying to move, he's got a lot of home.
If he times it perfectly as you're coming in, you will get hit by that and not the shield, so he's able to get a good amount of damage. The Voltic Needle pickup, I disagree on. I really don't think that's worthwhile here. And we're seeing a lot of issue from Flanbie. He's not immediately using his dragons. He needs to just immediately be throwing that on cooldown. Because if right now they're not up, you can make an initiation. If he landed that shield, what was he going to do?
He's got no protection.
Yeah, and it's very important. I think he defensively tries to pick up the Evading Zephyr, but both of you are already on full build. You pick up a ward, a little bit of zoning to give you a bit more, but the Cascading Blitz pick really is not doing any justice for you, especially unenhanced.
No, again, I gotta land something. I'm not landing anything. I have to land one shield, make it work, hit that ball lightning, and then end the match. You can end it in one combo, but it's going to be a matter of, and that's my thinking with this ward. If I can hit that ball lightning and then run in there fast enough, drop that ward while he's stunned, and then get that combo off and try and end it. But I'm having a very hard time approaching not only the bouncing
Flanbie
plays,
just
but
needs to push up here. Like the thing is, he's trying to stand in one position and hold his ground, but you have no reason to walk up on it.
And that turbine
once the dragons
come
down, you think you have your opening, and he turbines you to kill. But
yeah, I was hoping that the turbines I would get skate out of that corner, knock him out, end it right there. But that was not the opening, and this is where I
Magnetic Breaker is very good pickup on your side. Able to push him away on his approach. Flame Fusion as well, giving you a bunch of range and good damage.
Yes.
Very, very helpful.
Now I'm a threat from far away as well. If he's keeping me away, I can still attack from far away.
And that's what I should have been focusing on the last one. Is not a super huge pickup for him, since he already has the range from his basic on that.
Correct.
Walking up on you, very dangerous here. We see you just completely obliterate his entire health bar that round with one combo from the ball lightning, and you just charge plus some basics.
And that's the whole thing. Whereas he does have a perfect response to my build, I just got to land it once. The only thing I got to do is try and get in there, try and land it, and not take too much damage.
He's not using these dragons at all. He needs to have these out more and more. Again, you're able to get that knockout boulder.
Yep, the boulder. Perfect boulder. He gets bailed out by a dragon, which is they're doing their job.
They're doing their job great. He just needs to be using them more and more. The Twin Turbines pickup is going to be huge for him if he's able to get it, but I think a bit of delay kills his first, and that's going to I think that that kills him just on that delayed pickup.
Yeah.
You can't be making those mistakes out here. It really hurts, even if...
Tiny seconds really does come down to it, and now we've got... he's still holding on to his 2, and I now pull ahead to 3. And we've got 2 more games on my host, and I do have a slight ping advantage, so if I can win these next 2 matches, that's going to do it. If he can take one away and we go back to him, that easily can go his way.
He has a huge advantage there. However, we're getting to the point where both of you are running out of builds. However, as we know, Covetous has one specific build he hasn't used yet, that being his Frost Scimitar build, which Flanbie predicts very, very well. And
he knew it was coming eventually.
He called the Mag Sphere exactly on time. He did really well in making that. Although Mag Sphere is not the greatest standard because he's losing out on the good amount of utility and damage or zoning, he does have a Mag Sphere against homing flares.
Yes.
And against the
homing flares can be completely useless here. The Scimitar is going to be tricky. And now this is 2 rounds in a row.
He has a lot of good tools here. I'm not so sure about the Raging Inferno pick here. I think that might cost him, especially since it requires very good aim, which, as we've all noted, it's a bit harder to get that precise aim on.
Yeah, and it's a matter of, well, why did he pick that? Did he run out of things? What did he have left that he's used before that he's comfortable with? And I'm able to wait out that Mag Sphere and know it's coming out.
Yeah. He needs to be using these Mag Spheres more reactionary rather than predictive.
Good pick up here with these dragons.
He Mag Spheres and then downtime. The Water Dragons pickup really does save you because you now have something that goes even while Mag Sphere's up.
Yes.
And again, Mag Sphere's here to try and approach, but the moment that Mag Sphere comes down, you can go ham on him, as he's now out of Arcana, and he just has to run and hope that Mag Sphere comes up. Gets up right in time for the homing flares to not hit you. But again, he's playing this game, and Mag Sphere has a longer cooldown, so eventually he's going to lose the numbers game on those cooldowns and just eat all of his health for it. And dragons come in with the kill. Clutch dragons, always doing work.
That's right. Yeah, those are 2 pretty good pickups. The dragons plus that the tornado entourage, the storm entourage.
Yeah,
are right there eating.
Right here,
all
the
those
rushing
flares.
typhoon, very good. It allows him to have a bit more initiation during his Mag Sphere time.
I was going straight for that. I was hoping to go for that. I knew that would have been a good one.
It would have helped out your damage combo a lot, but even with just Underdrop, you're able to do a lot. He gets up the Mag Sphere, but you just don't follow through in casting any Arcanas outside of your basic.
Yeah. Once I saw it in the pregame lobby, I knew that I'm going to have to rely on that Volt Disc to do some work.
Yeah, and you're able to get a lot of work done with that Volt Disc in both rounds here. You're playing really well around the Mag Sphere and just have a very strong game. So now we're going into the final matchup here on your host, and match point for him. So this is it. He has to win it. He has to win this game if he wants to continue on. The moment he gets to his host, he has a very good ping advantage. That'll help him out a lot. But he has to find something that'll make it work on this host. So
I feel I still have some very strong things going. I have this Wind Sentry, I have the Flame Cleaver, and I still have a double jump build that I planned on using if I had to. But I was still pretty confident that I had some very good Arcana left. And when I saw him pull up the Entangling Vines, I figured he was sort of at the end of his...
Yeah, the Embracing Vines was a very odd choice.
Embracing.
Because even though that they are a decent pickup, I think that putting them as a standard really does state for him he doesn't know what he's doing right now, and he's a bit too worried. So
right,
I think
he's
that
trying
that
to
choice really
figure it out.
The Permafrost Bulwark isn't, again, it's a good choice, but into your build, you're never going to want to be next to it. Flame Cross gives you too much range. Although,
yeah,
of course, I say it, you're going to still get hit by it because Permafrost Bulwark is, as we all know, the best spell in the game. Sad.
Able to still pick this up.
Yeah.
More range. He's also got the drill fans. I would have preferred those, but what
the
I've
drill
got right
fans work out really well with
bad.
him because he's able to drill fans, homing flames, and then walk into you. It just has such good stun. But I think just the misuse of Bulwark here is really costing him. He's using it as a predictive tool, which is not what he...
It is a very specific thing, and you have to really plan around using it.
It can work out really well against you. I mean, being able to deny a
combo,
full
if I can get you in the Scimitar.
Yeah. You don't have Scimitar here, but Flame Cleaver denying that
Scimitar.
damage and the burning,
right,
or denying your pushback from the Wind Sentry, very useful. But he keeps using it at the wrong time, so he's unable to get much value out of it. He needs to be a bit more patient on its usage.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think this match really did come down to he was running out of... he had used up a lot of his good builds early on, and maybe not thinking it would...
The Ice Dagger's pickup here is actually
long.
very smart on his side. It gives him a lot of range here and constant poking.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Say you used up your favorite basic, you can still pick it up. And not only that, he picks up an enhanced one, which is... Now he's got...
A very underrated enhanced. Because most people think, oh, it's just going to be a basic that has no range. It's Ice Daggers. It's melee. No, it has a very decent projectile. 7 damage, decently fast. And as we've learned with Berserk, the projectile alone stuns you on its own. Even if you're not near, you just can't dash out of it. It has that much stun.
Now this is getting a little tricky. I'm down to 27.
Yeah. At this point, he should just be trying to get basic pokes out on you. Just trying to do that around the statue, but he's not using his basic to the most advantage. He's trying to get those Arcana out and damage there.
And now we got it evened up, and then that Sentry is just enough. Yeah, he had a pretty good pickup line with that.
He had a way to win
line
in that round. He just gave it up, which was a huge issue for him.
Yeah, it was definitely my game at the end in terms of Arcana pickup, but in that last round, he definitely had a shot.
Absolutely.
It was not a run over in that last round. He had me on my back foot.
I think that he really struggled from just burning too many Arcana in the first few matches.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was a pretty interesting rule set, and I hope to see a lot more like it. It created a lot of interesting combinations, interactions, and hopefully, opened everyone's eyes to new types of builds that we can see on the field. But as of right now, I think that's going to do it. Tragao, have you got anything to close us out with?
I would love to see a bit more variety from both you and Flanbie. That's all I gotta say.
I'm looking forward to impressing you. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. That's going to do it for us, and we'll see you on the next one.
Have a good night.